Hi Becky, it's Max here. I hope you are well. So this is your first intro video into phase one. I'm going to split it up into different segments so it's a little easier to understand. So there's going to be around 12 different sort of main things to talk about. And then if you've got any questions, just please give me a shout when you have watched this intro video for phase one. So the first thing we're going to go to is to your goals, and we find that in the text documents here. I've also programmed it that every week you get to see your goals as well. So as you can see here, if we go into goals, we can see my goals and your goals as well. So this is for your block one. So I have essentially tried to fit your goals, your qualitative goals, so things that will make your life better, into more metric data, so we can sort of track it accordingly as we go along. So I know you've given me a few different types of goals, which is excellent. But what we've done is I like to break it down into phases rather than thinking too far into the distance. So what we can achieve in the next 6 weeks. So I've gone into your sort of short-term goals rather than long-term goals. Not that we need to disregard those. So if you want, have a good look through these. I'll give you an example. You're fit into your chest combats. If we lose around 0.5 to 1 kilo per week, this will mean we'll be around 100 to 103 kilos. That is if the weighing that you gave me was correct, then this may need to change as well. Obviously, I don't know if that's exactly right, but it's going to be there or thereabouts, or in the right trajectory for us to be there and to get into that place as well. So a few things that I've done is resting heart rate to come down, and that's almost a bit of my own goal really for you rather than within your goals, just because I feel like yours was it is a little bit sort of a quantitative goal as much as anything, if that makes sense. So starting to increase times and reps in a resistance workout will then obviously make you a lot more likely to be able to do cycle. I want you to hit 38 out of the 42 marbles, which I'll explain next. And therefore you will sleep better night time, stop eating late at night, keep up the train bone, etc. And we have your reason why at the bottom. Now, tomorrow, if you can take a photograph, which basically covers all angles, these are only for my eyes, for no one else. So don't be worried about that. If you do not feel comfortable doing that, don't worry. I do appreciate that it isn't for everyone. But there is the best way of tracking to ever improving is looking at photographs over time. And I can guarantee if sort of a few months down the line you've lost all this weight and you're looking really good, it is sort of really satisfying to have a look at what those at where you've come from essentially. So I would suggest to take the photos and put them on the app. If you're feeling comfortable putting on the app, that's okay as well. They can be just for you. So that's your goals. If you get any more questions, please do give me a shout. They are sort of a briefer version, but I think the most important thing is we know what we're trying to achieve. So from here, we're going to have a quick look at your overview. So your overview is sort of like the periodization. So when we're starting things, when we're finishing things, and just sort of a good way to sort of look in a bird's eye view to how we're achieving it. So we have sort of deadlines, etc. at the end. So to do this, we go into spreadsheets. We look at your overview here, and it takes us to a Google Docs. So this is phase one, and our method is what we call a general physical practice phase. So basically just getting you ready. We're not in any kind of specialization phases yet, so we're not sort of trying to achieve an exact specific stimulus for an exact specific adaptation. We're just looking at getting healthier, building some new routines, and then maybe later on, maybe phase 4 and 5, we can get into something maybe a little bit specific, but we'll talk about that then. So as you can see, we're starting here on the 8th of June, and we'll be finishing here, and we'll be finishing here on the 13th of July. Now, the strength that you're going to be doing is full body and yoga. So I will go into that once we go into the program. The conditioning is just aerobic conditioning. We don't want anything too intense for now, so that's why I programmed in the bike rides, as you'll see. The nutrition, simply, we're just going to be in a calorie deficit for the next 6 months. But as much as anything, it's an educational part of things. So learning about what works for you, starting to see what cues work for you, and starting to see how we can really embed this sort of new lifestyle and make it so it's sustainable and adherent forever, essentially. Supplements are, as you can see here below, I have given you those links, but there is also a module on supplements which you can read more about as well. You don't have to read the modules in the order that they've come up in. I've just done that, so it's a little bit simpler, so there's one a day. Again, I'll talk about the modules in a minute. And our behavior state, as talked about last time, long term, our goal is for maintenance, but to get to maintenance, we need to be in a action state. So this isn't necessarily sustainable. It's not something that we're going to do forever, but it's very much for the next 6 weeks. We're going to really give it our best. On those days when we're struggling, we're going to go back to that reason why we're doing this and why we're going to make sure that we're not essentially going to fall off the rails and go back to sort of the old bad habits. And then when we get into maintenance, we can start including more calories and so on. But again, that might not be for a while yet, but we can discuss that further down the road. So as much as anything, this is for me rather than you, but I quite like to see it just to know where we're up to, just to make sure that, if it gets to week 3, we're on the right set. Do we need to change things about? Do we need to adapt and analyze, etc.? So going back to the app now, we're just going to go quickly to your program, which is here at the bottom. So the program, if we click onto this, you'll see that there is 5 different workouts. We have workout 1, which is resistance, workout 2, which is cycle 1, workout 3, which is yoga, workout 4, which is cycle 2, and workout 5, which is resistance 2. Now, I've only prescribed and designed 2 of the workouts, mostly because I think if we sort of overdo trying to be exact at certain things, it can often sort of lead to perfectionism, etc., and can often feel like there's too much sort of stress to do things. So you workout 1, all you need to do is start the workout here, and it's just a quick circuit. It's nothing crazy. It's super, super simple. And honestly, things will stay super, super simple for a long time. There's rarely a time that we need to get complex with our training unless we're sort of looking at rehab, etc. At the bottom, we have a stopwatch where you can use that. And this is just your exercises that you can do. Now, I am wary that you can't do much with your knees, so just do what you can, work it around that. There is a module on how we lay out workouts and sort of the methodology behind periodization and programming, and you can take a look at that. I think it's around module 14. So here, just fill in your reps, etc., and just follow the exact variables. So 20 reps, time, it'll be around 60 seconds. Intensity, 8 out of 10. So it should feel hard, but it's not brutal. And then we rest for 30 seconds. We move on to the next thing. So here it says reps. Just ignore that it says 20 there. I need to take that off, actually. But it says, 30 seconds thereabouts. If you don't know how to do an exercise, just click onto it, and it will actually give you a video and a demonstration of how to do it. If at any point you can't do an exercise at the full range of motion, just give me a shout and I can change the exercise to an easier version of that. So here, kneeling press up, hollow hop roll, into glute bridge, and then back to the start again into set 2. So it's 3 rounds of 1 circuit. This is just full body, basic conditioning, core and lower body strength. We have the same workout twice, so we do that again on workout 5, and then we have 2 cycles. Now, I just want you to get out on your bike. If you want to go for a long one, that's fine. If you want to go for a short one, that's fine as well. Anything for now is great. And with your yoga, I'm going to let you decide what to do that there. If you do want me to prescribe stuff and to actually put in exactly what to do, just give me a shout. But I know that you're on a bit of a roll with doing these things, so sometimes it's best just to leave it with the things that you're currently doing. Next, we have data tracking. So one thing I say is that if you want me to give you the best feedback possible, the most important thing to do is for you to give me data. Without data, it's very hard to sort of know where you're up to and give you advice which is going to make a difference to your training and your results. So to track data, you will you go to tracking here, and this is where you will find your progress photos, your results tracking. So this is like your weight, your sleep, your daily steps, and also your habits here, which I will talk about in a minute. It may be as we go along we need to add in more habits as a reminder, just as we're so new to things. So regarding your data trackings, if you can give me data every day, that's fantastic. If not, every other day is fantastic. Things that are great to do every day are daily steps, and obviously calories, and things that we like to see a few times a week, if possible, are your weigh-ins, blood pressure if possible, and resting morning heart rate. Now, obviously, there is a lot to do, so don't worry if you don't get it all in. I can sort of give you reminders and cues to get them done. So with your food diary, there is, obviously we're going to do it all through MyFitnessPal. There is a module, I think it's module 7, which tells you how to link your MyFitnessPal to the app. And also module 7 plus gives you a bit of a intro in how to actually use MyFitnessPal. From here, we can, I'll quickly show you the meals that we can use. So I've tried to get it so all meals are vegan friendly, vegetarian friendly, high protein, etc. And also in here, in this PDF, you also have some infographics as well. I'm just going to quickly show you some how-to videos and high protein meals. So we can pick any kind of one here. They're all suitable. Obviously, you have to fit them into your calories, and the higher the protein, generally, the better, because we do have a target as well with that. So, if we quickly take a look at this will give us the instructions. Then we can go to Watch Now. It will tell us how to do it, etc. And it will also tell us it will tell us how many calories, and we can link that into our MyFitnessPal simply by scanning it on another device. So from here, I'm quickly going to go to your nutrition. So obviously weight loss is our main prerogative in this block. So if we go to nutrition here, you can see what I've set up. And if you ever want to know why, please give me a shout and I can explain exactly the science behind it. But you will find that in module 3, on top of my head, the logistics over weight loss and the mathematics behind weight loss often explains how I do things. Now, I would say that is the most important video to watch, because I really think when people watch that, they really understand how weight loss has to work. And that sort of gives them a good sense of trusting the process, etc. And they're much more likely to stick to it and therefore adhere. So what I've decided is a range of calories. So 1,760 to 1,210, anywhere in between these. So for example, it could be 1,562. It really doesn't matter. We get very obsessive about what goes in, but not about what goes out. What we want is consistency and not perfection. So anywhere between that is totally fine. But the most important thing is the calories weekly. So 1,320 for the higher amount and 8,470 for the lower amount. If you've got a week which is full of socials, then it's probably worth going higher. If you realise your diary is quite empty, not much is going on, I'd go the lower amount. This just gives us a lot of flexibility and allows us to essentially make decisions based on auto-regulated decisions of what's coming up in the week as well. If you want to read the rationale behind nutrition and the behaviour state and how to eat to meet your current goal, please do so. But I also know there's a lot of content on here to read. And then you can just fit the meals in that we've just talked about just then into those calories that I have given you. Next, I'm quickly going to talk about the marble test. Now, the marble test is what we talked about in the consultation. It's essentially just a really simple way to track consistency. Humans do not grow up. We like things like gold stars. So what we're looking to do here is we imagine that we have 42 marbles in one bowl, and we're looking at sort of every day, if we're consistent, we move one marble over. By the end of this phase, we want to see how many marbles we have successfully passed over. If you have been honest, you will get the results that show, depending on how many are in the bowl. So if we go to tracking habits, here we go to marble test, and you can see that you can check in. So this will actually come up in your schedule, so you don't need to come this far. You don't have to come into this each day. But what we're looking at doing is, say we check in, and it'll say click this if you've done 4 of the following thing: hit your calorie target, have a plan to make amendments for, done your steps, hit your protein, etc. If you have, click yes. And then what we're looking for is stats over the 36 days to see how consistent you have been. Please try and be as honest as possible. Now, I would say that some people don't like to do it virtually, and some people actually like to do it. Some people actually like to do it from. I'm just trying to sort this. So some people actually like to do it with, I don't know, stones, marbles, whatever they've got in their house. Next, we've got your modules to watch. Now, it is totally up to you to watch these. I would say there's a massive correlation to those that do watch this and those that are successful. Often people have questions for me, and actually the answers are in the modules. So it means that I then sometimes give maybe not the best, most detailed response over like WhatsApp, which can then confuse things, because nearly always there's a proper answer for it in these videos. So for example, here, there's something just terms and conditions, ignore that. But there's also, if we go into this module, nutrition 1, this is just 20 minutes of just basic nutrition. Now just try and watch it if you can, when you've got a spare 5 minutes, etc. Then as it goes along, every single day, I think for the first 21 days, there's some kind of content, and it does vary on how long they are. Again, the more that you pay attention to this, generally the better your decision makings will be. So as you can see here on your schedule, it'll say exactly what you need to watch that day. Let's just see what you've got, say, on day 12, module 12, fat loss mindset, and it will just it's just a quick video of me explaining how I have found people in the past and the mindset that I find really works to sort of succeed. As you can see, it's not loading now, but I'm sure it will at home. If you do want to just have a look at these videos, just go on to videos here, and the videos will come up and they will show you exactly, they'll come up on there. And they're all, there you go, I will explain exactly what is going on. Okay, the other thing as well, I've set you up to get daily emails, and that will just tell you exactly what's on in your schedule. So this will tell you what you're doing. Now, keep it super simple. Have a look what you're doing at the start of the day. Plan your day around it, and then just crack on. So some things obviously don't take much time. I've just put in recipes and etc. here just so have a look at them. It might be worth that you want to look at your goals, etc. You want to read through the modules. You want to have a look at what your workouts are going to be, and you're going to update your food diary. But if you spend around 10 minutes each day, that's generally enough times as well. Now, regarding your weekly check-ins, of course, you can message me throughout the week. But what I would suggest is try and do it all on a Friday. So we can message, and that's totally fine. But this is just a sort of overall check-in, which basically puts everything into one bit, and I can sort of see where you're struggling, and then I can message you from there. Now, as you'll see in a minute, this will load up, and this will just ask you different questions about your program, about your nutrition, so on, and then you can sign off at the end to say you've done it. Once you've done these, In our bi-weekly chat, which I will fit around your diary, we can discuss these things and we can discuss anything that you may not have mentioned as well. So that is a bi-weekly chat we have every 2 weeks that I will just message you. We don't have to sort of put that in the diary. It might just be sort of a 10 to 20 minute chat. Sometimes they can go up depending on how much help you feel that you need. So we don't really, it's not like, oh, we have to have something in the diary at this time. We'll just give you a shout. It's quite relaxed and we can talk accordingly. How to use the app, of course, you can see it's very straightforward. You have your home, schedule, program, coaching and tracking at the bottom. Again, the best way is just to play around with it. Sometimes things do repeat itself and I do that on purpose. For example, most days you'll have update food diary twice, and that's just because it's good to, do it in the morning, do it again in the evening. But it is pretty straightforward and I've made sure that it's very straightforward as well. If you do have any questions on how to use the app or how to use the software when you sign in from the members account, that's fine. But I would say you don't really need to use the actual online software because it actually, basically do it all in the app. It might just be that you need to integrate things like MyFitnessPal and that's it through my website, but that's about that. That's about it, sorry. So quick things just to finish off. All I'd say here, as you can see, if you go to tomorrow, Monday, you have a client agreement, and that's just sort of, this is what you're agreeing to. It's just basically what we expect, what you can expect from me, etc. and so on. And if you just sign here, that just means, etc., that you are happy with that. So that's about it. I appreciate there's a lot on, but I promise you, all you need to concentrate on is prioritizing your training, getting your nutrition done, and just ticking off each job as it goes along. I am here to support you at all times, so just give me a message if you've got any issues with anything. I hope you understand everything, and I'm hoping you're excited for this first phase of training. All the best, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Cheers.